Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Please consider subscribing to my channel. And today I'm gonna be telling you about the newest fragrance from Narciso Rodriguez, which is Narciso Rodriguez All of Me Intense. Narciso Rodriguez All of Me came out last year around the same time, like the end of summer and the beginning of autumn. So we have the intense version now. And I do have a travel size here to talk about this fragrance. And I've been comparing the two fragrances for about a week now. I do have intense version. Well, this one is intense and this one is the one that came out last year. And I do have my thoughts ready. So let's start with the olfactive pyramids of these two fragrances. I'm not gonna be comparing the two fragrances a lot, just my thoughts if it's similar or not. So I'm gonna start with the older one, with the one that came out last year. It has magnolia, rose, geranium bourbon. It has musk and sandalwood. And the one that came out now this year, the intense version, it has black iris, it has jasmine sambac, rose, it has geranium, but it's a different type of geranium. This is pink geranium or rose geranium. We have tuberose, musk, vanilla, and Australian sandalwood. So when I sprayed for the first time, I have to be honest with you, I had difficulty to tell one from another. Obviously, I knew that on this hand, I don't know why, but on the left hand, I would always put the older version, and on the right hand, I would always put a newer one. So obviously, I knew that here I have the older and here I have the newer. But when I would just sniff them side by side, and I'm talking about like the first maybe even 10 minutes after I initially sprayed, they were almost identical. I couldn't tell them apart. But and here what I have to say, that I was quite disappointed. I mean, what's the point of making the fragrance that is so much alike? And also because being it an intense version, I was hoping that it would be something different, maybe more intense, but the actual intensity, when you spray the fragrance, the intensity of the scent that came to my nostrils, it was like identical, it was the same. So it was like, oh my gosh, is it like the same fragrance but repackaged? Anyway, initial 10 to 15 minutes, let's say even 15 to 20 minutes passes, and here I understand what is the main difference. And the main difference of these two fragrances is that the first one, the one that came out last year, it's much more flowery. Well, the one that came out this year is flowery as well, but the older one it has a variety of flowers. It's like a flower bouquet, if you wish. And mind you, I have to tell you that I wasn't a fan of the last year fragrance, just because, is it pretty? It is pretty, it's fine, but it's like, it's the type of the fragrance that you pick this one or you pick another one, nothing actually changes. They're like interchangeable. It's uninspiring, nothing interesting about this fragrance, in my opinion, obviously. So and this fragrance that came out this year, just recently, I have to tell you that this is very rose heavy, and this is this kind of rose that I dislike. Well, in general I dislike roses, but there are some types of roses that with time I grew to kind of to understand them better, to even to like them sometimes. This is like this white rose, rose with a little bit of dew on it, very fresh, very light green rose. This one, the one that I have on my hand now, the one that came out just now, the newest version, the intense one, is nothing like that. It's just a typical rose that I dislike. It's not a heavy rose. It's just like the plain, normal, traditional rose. There's nothing lipstick about this rose. There's nothing like overly oily about this rose. It's just a very heavy rose scent. Not, I can't say that it's old fashioned. I wouldn't say that. It's not like this kind of older ladies fragrances, rose fragrances that are a bit dusty, a bit like heavy. No, it's not like that. It's just a traditional rose. Nothing inspiring about this one. And it is persistent. This thing is persistent. And here the understanding of why this is an intense fragrance came to me. So then I reapplied it like the next day, and then another day, and then another time, and another time. And as I've told you, I've been testing it for a week now, and it's always the same result. This thing is intense, and it's not intense in terms of like sillage, in terms of how it makes this kind of, how it fills the room. It doesn't fill up the room, obviously, but this thing stays on your skin for hours and for hours and for hours. So in this sense, this is an intense smell. But if you read like intense, so it's gonna be projecting, it's gonna be loud, it's gonna be this and that, no, it's just gonna last a good time on you. So just to give you concrete figures, yesterday I sprayed this fragrance, the older one and the newer one, on my skin at around 9 a.m. and at around 2 p.m. The one on my hand, the older one, it was completely gone, and the newer one, it was still there. And it's not like I had to put my nose really close to my skin in order to feel something. It was there. You could feel it, that it's there. So it is intense. They did a good job with longevity of this fragrance. So the longevity of this fragrance is phenomenal in my opinion, because lately I have been just paying attention. The fragrances that come out now, the longevity is like 3 to 4 hours tops. So this is a good longevity. Now, is it a beautiful fragrance? It's not a bad fragrance, but just like the other one, just like the one that came out last year, it's pretty simple. It's uninspiring. It's nothing new. It's nothing interesting. It's just a good option if you're looking for something rosy, but not like your the fragrance that you would always buy, the rosy fragrance that you would always buy, and you want to switch, but you still want to remain in this classic rosy category. So this is your fragrance. This is your fragrance. It's nice. It's okay. My perception of the roses and my I can't say that I hate roses. I just don't love them. I would never put this fragrance on me deliberately. I would never want, well, what am I gonna put on myself today? Oh, let's put this all of me intense. No, not gonna happen, because I don't like the rose, and especially don't like this type of rose. But this is a good fragrance if you love roses, or if you like roses, or at least if you are not against roses. So the longevity is great. The sillage, I can't say that it gives your presence this kind of long trail of fragrance. No, it doesn't, but the fragrance stays on you for a long time, and this is good. Otherwise, it's kind of, for me, I have to be honest, it's a boring, normal, boring fragrance. I would not buy it for myself, but if you would ask me what is the normal fragrance that I can wear to my office, to my work, to my studies, wherever I want to go, and I'm not against roses, I actually love roses, and I need something like casual, basic, day-to-day fragrance, but that might be an option that I might have given you. Obviously, I think that it's not a bad fragrance. It's just that it's normal. It's nothing inspiring, but it's a bad fragrance. No, the only thing that I would um talk further about is that the price of this fragrance, in my opinion, is a bit too high. So the price of the smaller bottle is about like 90 euros, which is a lot. And so probably for 90 euros, I would opt for something else. Like I would add 30 like euros, and I would go for Montal fragrance, and it would be the bigger bottle, like 3 times bigger. But if you are a fan of this brand, if you're a fan of roses, if you want something casual, something nice and pretty, this is your option, in my opinion. So let me know if you know this fragrance, if you like this fragrance, if you have tested it, if you maybe you have already bought it, and yeah, let me know. And I wish you a beautiful Wednesday. Bye.